Dear viewers, welcome to the show POWERchat, Nepal's only TV talk show in English discussing development since 2016. Through this episode tonight, we are discussing about urban infrastructure development, focusing on the interventions of Town Development Fund. And I'm joined tonight by Mr. Krishna Prasad Sapkota, Executive Director of Town Development Fund. Let's talk. Welcome to the show, Mr. Sapkota.
Namaste. Namaste. So,
how have you been?
Yeah, fine.
Well, you have long been engaged in the consulting work,
Yes.
especially that of the infrastructure and development, and currently leading Town Development Fund, an autonomous body working with the local governments and the consumer organization. How do you assess the overall urban infrastructure initiatives in Nepal?
Okay. Actually, in the context of Nepal, this urban infrastructure, basically urban development, is lacking. Before some 10 years before, we have the only Ministry of Physical Infrastructure Development, and part of the urban development is the part of the this ministry work, and number of acts are lagging in the development sector, in the urban sector. Basically, we did the building development works in number of cities, in number of municipalities, but we basically lacking in the urban development. Based on the planning, development, project implementation. This is due to the cause of basically Utility Act is not endorsed and is under the preparation phase. Similarly, the Urban Development Act is also not formulated, and this is also under the preparation phase now. So in the context of Nepal, major legally also we are lacking in the context of the urban development. So now after the formation of the Ministry of Urban Development, many legal this act, basically Urban Development Act, Utility Act, these are under the formation. And this legal document will guide the entirely development, urban development sector. We are attracting the private sector in the urban development, in the planning phase, from planning phase to the development phase.
Well, that's really interesting. Before we go into TDF's interventions, I would like to ask you about how the newly formulated policies or laws should guide the pace of urban development.
New act focus on the planned development in the cities. Basically, they conceptualize, these documents conceptualize about the township planning concept, land pooling projects, and entirely development in the planning phase and the development phase as well. This is the integrated development approach. Now, the water supply project is doing by the one organization, and telecom services is provided by another company. All the utility services are made from the different department, and there is some lack of coordination in the development works, and the Utility Act basically targeted for the integrated development works, which is important for the urban areas, because it's the single services cannot benefit to all the people of the cities. So this Utility Act will more focus on the integrated development, which will alternately better provide the services in the integrated way. And the Urban Development Act that focus on the best planning, township planning, land development planning, and that's also focus on the attracting the private sector investment in the planning and development of the housing also, because many housing companies are doing separately, but they are not associated with the government entity for the development of the housing, large housing, big housing companies, and house pooling project. So this document, these laws which are coming will definitely guide for the urban development in the most practical way.
Well, Mr. Sapkota, next week you are celebrating 33rd anniversary of the Town Development Fund.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific intervention to share with us that was proved to be exemplary or say best practice alongside coordinating with the local government and consumer organization. Plus, what is your vision of the infrastructure development, because you have recently joined the TDF as the executive director?
Thank you, Laxman sir. Basically, this Nagaram Town Development Fund worked for last 32 years. In the basically, this organization is introduced by the government for the conceptualization of the debt financing, urban infrastructure development based on the debt financing with the combination of loan and grant, blending of the loan and grant. And this fund has developed number of projects through the loan and grant blending, and through the grants. Some provided some social infrastructure projects. We have provided the grants as well, and more than 1,200 projects are completed through the loan and grant, and almost 370 projects are under the running in the loan component projects, because we do not follow the granted project, because we due to the loan recovery we follow the loan projects. So almost 370 projects are running now under the loan component project. And in future, basically this debt financing is the most important aspect of the alternative financing resources in the urban infrastructure. We cannot invest more investment in the rural area, but in the urban area, people have the willingness to pay for the services, and they always want to pay the money for the good services. So our projects are mostly focused on the cost recovery model, whatever be the bus park or commercial complex or sports park or any urban infrastructure. We provide the loan and we recover our loan based on the services.
Any challenges so far you have faced in relations to loan recovery?
In regarding the loan recovery, in the initial phase, these communities or municipalities, they more feel the hardship to take the loan, because how to recover, how to pay, they think. But many municipalities are already in the practice, and they feel the better, because due to the loan component, the operational sustainability of the project is better than the granted project. So in the long run, this loan component project, that the loan and grant blending project, alternately definitely support for the municipalities in their internal revenue, and definitely that will pay the loan of the TDF as well.
Well, what are the criteria for financing to local governments and consumer organizations, and how does TDF ensure that financing is best utilized?
Our financing is the project financing concept. We need the best project, because whatever be the project, we do not invest our loan, because we analyze the project based on the technical features of the project, what are the components within the project, what are the cost recovery component within the project. Basically, we need the project that have the good cost recovery, means that can be provided to the private sector for the operation and management, and then return on the investment. So that type of the project we actually selected based on the demand from the municipalities. We do not supply the project, but we collected the demand from the municipalities. We analyze financially appraisal, technical appraisal, and social and legal appraisal. In different aspects, we analyze the project, and we decided what portion of the loan can be recovered from the project. That can be find out based on the project appraisal, and we recommend the municipalities that we can invest too much this amount, too much this level, and remaining amount should be the match from the municipality at the grant, so that we can execute the project. And after their consent of matching the remaining fund of the project that is targeted for the development, then we did the loan agreement and proceed the project.
How do you ensure that your financing is best utilized?
Okay. Basically this municipalities project we analyze, because they demanded number of type of the project. They have the huge demand of the project from the communities, but what we think that after the investment of the TDF, that project should not be burden to the municipalities. That project should earn the money, and we add some features. If there is any discrepancy or if there is any gap in the project, we revise the technical document, we revise the project, and to make the better cost recovery in the future. And our project definitely will support the municipality and TDF both. We will not invest in the losing project that for the municipality and the TDF.
Well, and what are the key areas of investment in the context of federalism and the three tiers of government? Basically, you are working with local governments, though.
Now we are investing in the 3-4 areas. In the urban infrastructure sector, basically in the 2 categories. In the urban infrastructure sector, we are investing in the bus park project, multi-purpose complex project, land pooling project, agriculture market project. Some are the fun park project. This type of the project we are investing now. And another category is the water supply and sanitation project. In water supply and sanitation project that we provided the loan for the development of the water supply project in different towns, small town project, where we have already completed the 94 small town water supply project, and that is the continuous process that we provided the loan from since 2000 and 20 years. In 20 years, we completed the 94 towns, and this basically in 2 areas we are investing now.
Well, as an engineer, consultant as well, before joining TDF, you're very actively working in the private sector. Could you tell us your observation about the key challenges that the present day Nepal faces in relations to urban development, and how can they be tackled?
In the urban areas, in the whole our municipalities, 58 municipalities, they have already developed some cities, some development. They did some development, but in the very haphazard way, without any planning, because they are mostly they develop the number of people. They are cities people develop the house, their home and housing. And now better planning and better development is necessary in the municipalities. And utility services is poor, unmanaged traffic system. There is no the parking system development in the municipalities, and all the public infrastructure or public road are using the parking. So unmanaged system is we face in the old cities. And in the new municipality that is declared by the government, that's 2015, this municipality, there is the possibility to better planning and better township planning and well organized urbanized cities. We have the better future in this area.
Why so happening, Mr. Sapkota? Because of the absence of, say, public awareness, or the absence of capacity building representatives at the local level?
Actually, this in the local level, in the first year, we have the long gap of the elected bodies as well. Our municipalities are run by the system of the bureaucratics, and they have no elected representative, and some developments are not foresighted because they did not focus on the planning. Every executive officer more focused on the project basis, and they always look after for the initiation of the project and completion of the project. They never think about the planning aspect. So these cities definitely lack the planning and development. But in the recent after the election of the 4 years before, after the election of local election, now the more municipality now focus on the planning aspect. So, for example, this Bhaktapur municipality is doing the land pooling project of around the 1,500-1,600 rupees. This Dhulikhel municipality is doing. Similarly, around the Budanilkantha municipality is planning to investment in the planning project, the land pooling project. So now number of municipality targeted to focus on the planning, because this is the vision of the leadership, and now we feel that in the future that we can make our cities more planned way and more better way.
Do you have, I mean, the TDF has any specific component that addresses the concerns of capacity building of the local governments through grants?
Actually, now we are under the planning phase that for the capacity building of the municipalities is very important aspect, and we are mobilizing the some donors, funds, technical support for the such type of the planning project and capacity development in the especially in the project implementation, project preparation, project planning. In different aspects, we are planning to provide the support to the municipalities in near future.
Well, could you also tell us, the priority sector in the federalism context at the moment?
In the federal context, basically our model of the financial model in the federal context, that the federal government, province government, and local government, that all three tier of the government are focusing on the co-financing model. And this all three government more focus just the correlation, cooperation, and co-financing in the development of the urban infrastructure and services to the people. And now TDF more focus. Now TDF wants to more focus on the loan and grant blending in the co-financing model. That we are searching for the space of the loan financing in the same co-financing model, so that we can invest in the number of projects in the through the municipality and province government matching, province government and TDF matching, federal government, province government, and local government also TDF loan fund matching. So we are looking for the space enter into the co-financing model in the federal context, and we more focus. We want to focus in the urban infrastructure that will definitely solve the urban people problem and benefit the urban societies.
Well, you agreed that there is issue with the planning on part of the local governments. Also, there is criticism that local governments lack management skills in relations to identifying and implementing priority projects. Do you agree that they have managerial skill lapses, and how would you help them? I mean, TDF could help them, sort out this problem.
Okay. Now TDF had basically two objectives. One objective is to provide the financial support for the development of the project through the loan grant from blending, and second is to provide the technical assistance to the municipality. That is also our objective. And I agree that municipalities, even the whole metropolitan cities also have no capacities to develop the large scale project. They have the limited capacity and to prepare the project, to procure the contractor and consultant, and to implement the project in the nominal size project only. Even they don't have the good capacity, the metropolitan city. In the case of metropolitan and other municipalities, they have also lacking the same basically engineering technical expertise in the project preparation, procurement, project development. They have the good technical expertise, knowledge is important. And some municipalities, they are expecting to the paid off services even from the TDF as well. They are expected that we need this type of the services, and they are ready to pay for the services even to the TDF. But till date we are only providing their support in the procurement, some training, some project preparation. We are providing the services from the technical assistance from the town development fund, and definitely we are planning to provide some pool of experts. Through the European Union Technical Assistance Program, we are preparing to hire some experts, pool of experts, and to provide the best technical support to the municipality.
What are the best approaches to sustainable, financing in the context of urban development or urban infrastructure?
Okay. Now, government is in the large in the context of the developing country of like Nepal, this resources is always limited, and the 15th plan of National Planning Commission also forecasted the huge gap of the project resources, that is almost 55% resources to be the allocated to the private sector to collect the private sector investment in the urban infrastructure. And due to the COVID also, now this the tax and other resources of the government is also custom duty and other resources also decreasing. And in the federal context, recurrent expenditure loaded on the federal government. And in this context, I think this is in the urban areas. Urban people always eager to pay for the services. They pay for the lighting, they pay for the water supply, they pay for the sports services. They want to pay for the everything, but they need the services. So in the urban area, this is paid up services concepts will be introduced.
Are you trying to say that service providers are not willing to pay back through services in the context of urban development?
Yeah,
is that the reality?
Yeah, in the basically in the urban people, they need the good. They expect the good services, but they want to pay. They have no time to manage everything by itself.
What about the service providers' willingness to pay back?
Okay.
In return to in relations to the money they pay.
Okay.
Do you think that the service providers are paying them back with best services?
That we should provide. And municipality, the local government, and municipalities should best try to provide the good services, and definitely people of the cities will pay. And that is the identity of the people of the cities. And people always say cities people are busy, cities people are always, they have the limited time, but they want to invest their time in the resource earning and paid for the services. That is the behavior of the urban people, and we have to provide the services. Municipalities should provide the services based on the good investment and large investment to in the infrastructure, urban infrastructure.
Do you have any assessment around how service providers are paying back to the people, those who are ready to pay for services they get?
Okay.
Often there is criticism that services are not provided at their best.
Actually, we have a good example of, because we in the water supply project last 20 years, we invested around 7 billion rupees in the water supply sector project in different town with the loan grant blending. And these water supply users committees, they collect the money from the every household, and they are paying us. This is the good example of the loan financing in the Nepal. That's the ADB. This is actually the ADB funding project, and that the Asian Development Bank is also replicating this concept in the Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and other countries as well. So I think in the water supply sector, there is the loan component is feasible, and in the other sector like the agriculture infrastructure, other urban infrastructure, tourism infrastructure, in many sectors we can introduce the loan, but the loan component may be the 25, 30, 40%. That depends on the project.
Well, how are you coordinating or collaborating with the agencies like ADB and World Bank and other collaborators with the TDF?
TDF itself is the autonomous body, but it is the line ministry under the Ministry of Urban Development, and Ministry of Finance is only the regulatory body for in the case of the National Treasury System, and all the donors will come to the Ministry of Finance, and some projects are linked up with the Town Development Fund for the loan component, especially Ministry of Finance achieve the loan from the different donors, and that fund is, some part of the fund is mobilized as a grant component, and some part of the loan received from the ADB World Bank is mobilized as the loan component through the TDF. So that TDF will invest to the project and return back and pay to the Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Finance will pay back to the ADB and World Bank. That is the system we follow now.
Well, Mr. Sapkota, there are many interesting issues, but we are coming to the end of the show. Okay. Finally, your observation about the COVID-19 impact on the urban development projects. How are you preparing to deal with major urban infrastructure projects in the context of COVID-19 pandemic, plus anything that you want to share, but very quickly?
Okay. In the urban sector, this COVID definitely impacted because people's earning is going down. And this urban infrastructure Basically, municipalities more focused on the local product selling center. They are developing the more local product selling center and livelihood improvement center. Basically, during the development of the project, and they are preparing municipality more focused on the livelihood of the people, so that economically this local people will be activated, and more support to the people. That's municipality approach is also changing due to the COVID now.
Well, Mr. Sapkota, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Laxman sir.
Dear viewers, time now to wrap up this show. Keep watching us. See you next week. Namaste.